What is up, YouTube? Today we're back with another Etheria restart video, and I wanted to quickly make a video covering the patch and the new units coming out. And of course, thank you to Etheria Restart for sponsoring this video. Now, most importantly, I think that Liliam, as you can see on screen, that her kit, shout out to Hell's Hades for making this kind of infographic. It makes it really helpful. I mean, this kit is like really solid, right? Like she has a ton of burst damage with crowd control. She has, AoE burst and solid lockdown potential. And obviously, like being completely immune to debuffs is massive as well, right? I think that she is just going to be so powerful because Revelation obviously recently got nerfed. And of course, don't mind me farming for Revelation right now, but Revelation got nerfed by 30%. And that means tank down and like bloodbath and healers is just stronger than ever. And I think Lilium being released at this time actually makes a lot of sense because it kind of gives you a little bit of viability to play versus tank down and not just only be able to just play like control. So I'm very looking forward to Lilium, and hopefully with the limited resources that I have, I'm going to be able to get her. And I think Nell is interesting. Like she pretty much just looks like a 4-star, like an SR Lily almost, right? Like her kit seems a little bit underwhelming with the AoE vulnerable and speed team boost, but it does give her really good tempo potentially. So especially in RTA or in like some other formats, I think she could be very interesting. And for a lot of players that maybe don't have Lily or Tsukiyomi, I think maybe this could have some potential to be a replacement as well, but only time will tell, right? Now, obviously, Lilium is going to be available for the next banner. If you can get her within 80 pulls, that would be great. So best of luck for that. And some quick quality of life and gameplay updates that I kind of want to talk about is that Inferno mode in Grim Pursuit, which is what we're doing right now, grinding for shells, now guarantees a mythic quality shell every 5 wins. Like I love that because too often, like it's great that they change it so that you can't get epic shells anymore in Inferno, but still it feels bad like not getting like just getting like one mythic or two mythics per run, right? It feels really bad. I know all of us can relate. And so having the 5 run pity is very nice, even though it's not, guaranteed to be really good, but you're guaranteed to at least have two in a 10 out of 10 run, assuming that you're 100% consistent, right? So that's very nice to have. And now I think obviously Anti-Sync Echoes is going to be getting some new stages from 49 to 54, and there's like new Frostbite mechanics, which I don't really know how to feel about it just yet. Perhaps once it comes out, we'll be able to test it on stream, but we'll see. We'll see. It's always nice that they're pushing more PvE since it feels like once you kind of cap out for the month, there's not really much to do left. So it's kind of nice. And they're also adding secret stages to Ember Trek. And obviously, the new Summon Arena is launching soon as well. So I'm very looking forward to that. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get Masters last season for RTA. It doesn't help that the RTA like end of seasons kind of like overlapped with both of my main games. So it made it really difficult. But the reason why I bring it Summon Arena and RTA and Etheria Restart is that they now have gear and shell loadouts separately for PvP and PvE, which is just huge for optimizing builds. Like, bro, I I'm so glad that they added this because I can't even tell, and I think a lot of you guys can relate. It drives me absolutely nuts. Like when I have to literally like swap all my gear for PvE, I have to do PvP like fearless for a bit. I have to swap everything back, and then I have to like from like our arena defenses and stuff like that, and like you doing my arena attacks, it's like really tedious, right? In the grand scheme of things, it takes like 1 second, 2 second, 5 second, 10 second, but then like over time it just becomes really annoying. And like I'm just really glad that they're finally adding this because obviously there's a cap to how many builds that you can save, so this is a huge W coming out from them, right? And now overall the buffs, I think that rather than nerfing like top tier units, it does seem like the devs opted to buff like the mid and like lower tier, heroes, elevating their baseline, which seems like everybody likes it because I think a lot of players are not in favor of Revelation, I guess, and a lot more players are commonly more tank down, which makes sense because rolling speed is not easy. But I think the main improvements that I'd want to talk about is Hellkid's base speed is going from 111 to 117, and his barrier strength is increased. And I think that's like a overall like not too big of a change. Like it's like a minor tweak, but it gives him better playability, which is nice. For Holden, I actually don't really know why they buffed Holden. Like it was kind of like I feel like Holden was already in a really good spot, but like yeah, I don't really I don't really know why they touched Holden. Like that was a little bit of a surprise, I would say. I really wasn't expecting for Holden to get buffed. Like out of everybody like on the list, like it was kind of like, oh, like Holden's also getting a buff. Are we just like are we buffing like all of like the turn two players or something like that? I mean, I guess. And now Chloros obviously as Doom's Resurge gets stronger scaling, which is very nice because it helps him get better damage output. And overall, it's just going to be very, very more playable for Chloros. I still don't have him. I really wish I had him for the event for a few of the challenge events that we had in the past few weeks, but I digress, right? And now, looking at Rahu, dude, like I feel like whenever I fight Rahu, it's already like hard enough when the enemy has like a fully skilled up Rahu, but now he gets like better scaling on his Wrath, and he's gonna be like just be way more annoying because he just does more damage. He has a higher chance of landing defense down, and obviously he does more damage, so it's gonna help him with consistency. And Romoka's a huge change too because Romoka is going to allow you to have a way easier time setting up your one shots for Doki Doki. And so that's very nice, right? It kind of lowers the barrier of requirement because honestly, the momentum like Fury requirement, like sorry, the momentum gear required for Romoka, it's honestly kind of steep, especially for like newer players, especially with all the new servers being added. So I'm kind of glad that they're adding that actually. Um, so yeah, and I will be investing in a Romoka as well and setting up a one shot for the next double EXP event, just because I want to be maximum efficiency as possible. And now Fuchiu, I mean, it makes complete sense why they changed your anima effect from effect accuracy to effect res. Like a soul weaver, like a healer, shouldn't have effect accuracy. You know, like there's no debuffs that she's landing, so there's no reason for her to have it. So I'm really glad that they actually were, actually open-minded enough to change that. And it's a minor tweak, but in the grand scheme of things, it makes it, way easier to build her and utilize like, double F res right side, for example, right? Now, Obero is going to be very interesting because his damage is basically increased by double, or at least his attack scaling which is kind of a little bit weird because like going from 50% to 100% for the indirect damage is a bit weird. I don't know if I'm kind of understanding that correctly, but yeah, like that's gonna be. I don't think it really changes how playable he's gonna be. I think Gray gets a minor damage tweak, which is kind of nice. I think Shiaki overall is nice as well. She's already a really solid kind of opener tempo unit in RTA right now, and for some people who don't have Lily, she's actually pretty good. She's way better like earlier on, like early game in Etheria for like the first 2 weeks when a lot of people were playing kind of like cleave and aggro. And I think Rin is going to be very interesting with the cooldown being reduced, and also it's going from 270 to 300%. Again, it's a minor tweak, but it is overall going to be a better shield, so it's better survivability. And so I don't even know how to say this guy's name, dude. Sutomu is gonna. I don't think it really changes much. Like, I don't think we're gonna see him get picked just because he's gonna be going from 60 to 80% chance to steal one random buff, and the damage increase is not significant enough for him to play. Marvel is just outdated. Like 5 turns to 4 turns doesn't really make that big of a difference because 4 turns is still a very long time for a control unit. Obviously, if you're gonna be playing like Codex on Marvel, which you could, but if you play Codex on Marvel, why don't you just play Codex on like Oval or like Kraken or Kazuyo, just other control units that are just better, right? Mizuki Makoto, I don't know why they buffed her, dude. Dude, Mizuki, okay, chat. Mizuki, I don't know why I called you guys chat. Mizuki Makoto is broken. Is straight up broken. Like, if you want to beat a turn two tank down player, you pick Mizuki Makoto, and she just goes infinite turbo, and she just non-stop counters at the end, and you just can't kill her. Now her single target damage is going from 300 to 360%. Like that is actually insane. So first of all, it makes her way easier to build, but you already build her on like a bramble set, so typically you don't really need the speed. But I guess the basic speed increase is kind of nice, but this is gonna make her like really, really good against tank down for sure. And Cybil, I don't think it really makes much of a difference. And researcher number 41, and we might need to keep that hidden. And Kachi, 35 to 50% chance to inflict stun is actually quite nice. It gives more consistency for the S2 because Kachi is actually one of those characters for a tank down player. If you have like one really, really fast set, but then the rest of your speed falls off, he's really good to kind of put up immunity, two-turn immunity, and like all the buffs that he puts from Great Success is going to be very strong. And obviously, the huge mention, or I guess the huge nerf, is like Revelation is getting nerfed in PvP. In PvP only. Let's specify in PvP only. It's dropping the damage by 30%, which is kind of insane. I'm really, really, really happy that they didn't touch it in PvE. Like, I'm so happy about that because you know what they could have done? They could have nerfed it overall, and then we would have just been down 30% in all of our damage for PvE and PvE, and that would have been terrible, right? So I'm really glad that they didn't do that. So huge, huge thumbs up and kind of like pat on the back for XD for doing that. And now Golden Lion shell now caps at 5, but gains more final damage and effect accuracy per stack. So it almost seems like they're hinting at us to start building Golden Lion shells for damage dealers, which is interesting. I think we'll need to test it, but I don't even have any good Golden Lion shells, so it's like I wish I could be excited, but I don't even have Golden Lion shells that are like good matrices. So there's that, right? And overall, I think the changes are very good, but I think that there are some pretty like good quality of life improvements. They took the route of buffing weak units instead of nerfing strong ones, which is very good, and it makes me very happy with everything. And the buffs are obviously very solid. Every character got a positive and like balanced buff for the most part, except for maybe like Holden. I feel like Holden just didn't need to be touched, but whatever, right? Um, and I think that the only real downside is that Lily and Doki Doki's abilities no longer reset shield abilities, which will make PvE runs a little bit more inconsistent, especially Rengo Kutsu. But I mean, Rengo Kutsu is already going to be a problem in itself, all right? But anyways, I'm gonna just kind of sum up the video real quick. Liliam and Nell are gonna be very, very good units. I think Liliam is gonna be definitely a must pull potentially, depending on how much your damage is. Nell is gonna be good if you don't have Lily. Huge, amazing quality of life changes, as I mentioned at the very beginning, and very good first balance patch, which tells me that they actually are, looking at the RTA landscape and listening to the community in terms of what needs to change, what doesn't need to change. So that makes me very happy to see that. And let me know if you're going to be pulling for Lilium in the comments and who maybe you wish was going to get buffed and maybe how you even like the overall changes to Revelation. I think it was needed, but also at the same time, I think it was a very necessary evil to have Revelation. Now, killing Tank down is going to be even harder, ladies and gentlemen. And I do want to quickly say thank you to Etheria Research for sponsoring this video, but I hope to see you guys in the next stream when we try to pull Lilium. And thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.